Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel after a long break of doing any kind of standalone Ecomi VeVe updates, but we are back at it again. We have some pretty cool stuff because today is the day of the Ecomi OMI token staking program, so I'm going to be going through that. Also be going through a little bit on the upcoming drop as well, and some cool kind of gems from the past which allow us to kind of look at it retrospectively and then see, you know, just how bullish we are on the whole Ecomi OMI ecosystem now, because I am still very bullish. I've bought more OMI tokens and I will continue to buy some more because there is some crazy stuff coming. So first off, there was a kind of old interview from like 3 years ago that's been kind of resurfaced, and I just want to touch on a few key points on there because this interview does go into a little bit of discussion with kind of what the different verticals are in VeVe, and now that it's been 3 years later since this interview was done, we can see just how much they've delivered. So I'm just going to touch on the first bit. So here you go.
The 5 main categories, where number one, we cover the animations. So these are a lot of anime, for example, Naruto, Bleach, these will probably come more. And then we have a movie content side with film, which we talk to Warner, Sony, Universal. And this is covering all their TV series and movies. And obviously we want to bring things that's interesting into it. Then we have what we call the classic characters, which is characters that when you're a childhood. That's possibly Disney coming out type of characters. And then we have gaming, which is basically from your online games or your PC, PlayStation games. And fifth one, which is basically artists. So we also see the clip sector is also going to work for a lot of artists who are very creative doing their art. Could be street art, and they're never able to commercialize their artwork, and now they can put it through our Ecomi Collect to make it work.
Okay, so they discussed some interesting stuff there. So they kicked off by talking about anime. So I'm going to get back to that in a second. But they kind of talked about artists. They talked about, movies, like working with Universal, Warner Brothers. They talked about the whole kind of even Disney aspect. So they discussed a lot here, right? And this was 3 years ago, before any of this was even public. And now we've seen, all of this stuff that they've spoken about, like 90% of it there has come true. Now, the anime side, that is ridiculously huge. Like, I can't even describe how huge it is. There was recently a project that claimed to have, the first ever licensed Naruto NFTs. However, it was a bit of a kind of a scam. They roped in one of the artists for Naruto, claiming that it was officially licensed when it wasn't really. But the demand for it was crazy. Like, that thing, had sold completely out, like even before they had launched. Like, all the everything was already kind of pre-ordered, reserved, it was mad. So when the first official Naruto or Bleach NFTs, those actually drop on VeVe, then, that's a whole new ball game. Like, it's going to be crazy. So yeah, that's just one aspect. Obviously, there's a lot of other stuff they've discussed when it comes to the utility side that we have yet to see. But I'm pretty sure in a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, we're looking back, we see, the stuff that they spoke about. We're like, oh yeah, we've got that now, etc., etc. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen in that time. But we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, we've got a good stream of upcoming drops, and one of those is the upcoming comic drop. So this one is the first appearance of, I believe it is Cable, is it Bishop? Let's just confirm. So this one is okay, so Cable, yes, because we had Bishop already. So pretty standard stuff, 30,000 editions. So it's not 10,000 editions like the one we had recently with the Iron Man, so it should be a lot easier to get. Real world wise, it's not a super valuable comic. You can get like 9.8 graded for about $800, $870. You can get a 9.6 significantly less. That's probably around about $400. So it's not a super crazy valuable comic, but it is a pretty good comic in its own right, especially if you've got it graded. So pretty cool stuff. I suspect, that price of these are going to be similar to what we've been seeing. So, the commons below retail around about 4 or 5 gems, the uncommons around about 7, 8 gems, rares about 15, ultra rares 40, secret rares about 120. I don't think it will deviate too much from those price points, but it is a pretty good point to get, and it also kind of fits in quite well with the New Mutants as well, because as long as you have these comics from the same series, those technically form a set. So it's not the same comic from common to secret rare that forms a set. It can be any rarity, but it has to be the same comic. It has to be the comics from the same series. So in this case, the New Mutants is the series. So as if you don't know that, you need to make sure you know that. Now, the big topic is staking. So OMI Staking is now live, and it's pretty simple. As long as you have a Sendex and as long as you're in an eligible country, all you need to do is go to, let's see, it is under Earn, the Earn tab. Got to click Staking, and you're going to see here are some tokens you can stake, right? So some of the APY is pretty mad, like Lime, you get 100% APY. USDT, USD standard stuff, 8.33. And then we have the core one here, which is OMI. Oh, you can even stake Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. So you get 4% on Ethereum, 3.56% on Bitcoin compounding. So with OMI, you get 10.52% now. I believe that is 10.52 with compound. Without compound, it's 10%. So pretty simple stuff. Once you're on the staking page, as long as you have OMI in your wallet, just click deposit. You have this little sliding bar here. Now, obviously, I'm staking all my OMI already, but when you're here, you can just enter how much OMI you want, or click max, or you can buy some OMI to stake. And you slide this bar across. As long as you have OMI, you can slide it. Oh wait, yeah, you can slide it across. Yeah. So that will put in like my max amount of OMI, show you the estimate yield, and you just got to click that you've read, confirm, and then you're going to get your OMI starting to stake. Now, here we can see the APY is 10.52%. This is in compound mode, so that means any returns are reinvested. If I don't want to compound and I want to keep my earnings to the side and not reinvest them, I can deselect this, and you can see it's now switched to 10%. So obviously I want to be compounding. And then I believe there is, so there's a 7-day redemption period. Let's see. If you redeem before this period, there's a 3% fee. Now obviously I'm not going to be redeeming within the next week or so. So that's pretty cool. And now, once you've done that, you should be able to see OMI staking, and you should say that your type is staking. And it will give you kind of like your estimate APY, mine's compounding, and right now, there's obviously nothing to redeem because, it's only been like, I've just recently done it. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. OMI staking is a go. Now, it's not available in the US, which is a big geography, mainly because of regulations. Don't blame Sendex or Ecomi, you can blame the US authorities on that side, the US government, because they're, they want to protect people from spending their own money, apparently. But yeah, just on that point of OMI. So OMI price, now we have come down a long way, obviously, because the whole market is corrected, but obviously OMI has kind of missed the target on some of the deliverables. Things have been pushed back, understandably. But if we have a quick look here, so if we just pull this up here, perfect. So we can see that OMI has been kind of trending along this descending channel, right? So we've had lower highs and lower lows, and that has continued. We've been bouncing along this channel. You can see here we've been kind of hitting a bit of support along this trend line perfectly. We didn't break below this bottom trend line. We are now trading kind of sideways, and we've broken out of this channel, which is good. However, I personally wouldn't feel confident until we can test and stay above this zone of around about 0.8. And obviously we are currently around this, as long as we can kind of stay above this key point of resistance around about 1.45. So here you go. I believe we will retest this 0.18 zone very, very soon. However, I believe that Bitcoin is not done dumping. There is a second leg down. What's going to happen is I believe this sideways movement is going to come back down and continue on this downward channel. So where can we go with the OMI price? I believe we are going to come down. If we have a look here, we are going to come and retest this kind of zone of around about 0.1. Anywhere between 0.7 to say 0.07 to 0.1 cents. When that happens, I believe that will probably be the bottom. I don't think we'll go lower than that, and then we can continue upwards. And it just takes one good catalyst to push us back up to like half a cent. I see that being very, very possible. Just any one very, very strong catalyst, like maybe a Binance listing, KuCoin listing, one of those. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next in the coming days. But yeah, as always, guys, I am going to continue live streaming as well on the Fridays. And I'll continue posting more as well. So please do like and subscribe to support the content. Stay tuned, hit that bell, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.